that the 13th Amendment had free African nationals. Let's study that. Now, we was told that constitutional slavery was over on January 15, 1865. Now, on January the 16th, 1865, if those African nationalists would have been free, as we was told, they would have had a African American government in those 13 territories like Maryland, Virginia, Delaware, Georgia, Alabama, South Carolina, the states that African nationals were denationalized. And also, if the 13th Amendment would have freed the African nationals, they wouldn't have been under the same flag, the red, white, blue flag with the 50 stars that denationalized them. They would have had African flags, flags of their tribe, of their birthright, of their nationality. Also, they would be living by an African constitution of their birthright, their tribe, or their nationality. So in other words, what I'm saying to my Asiatic family on social media living in North America, did the 13th Amendment free the African nationals, or was it segregation, integration, and granted privileges, like today? Because when you study the Honorable Prophet Noble Ali's literatures and lessons, that you know all free people in the world, according to international law, international freedom, has their own flag, their own constitution, and they're citizens of their own government. This is international legal freedom. Now, I know a lot of the so-called African Americans, black, Negroes, people of color, for to this demonstration, a lot of them going to disagree with it. But what we're going to do, according to our divine creed, which is love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, we're going to teach within 5 seconds that living under segregation, integration, and granted privileges, you are not legally free. Recognized as commercial property according to that constitution that you live by. Now, like so, the one and only Honorable Prophet Noble Ali in 1913, he brought you international legal freedom. What am I talking about? He brought a Moorish divine constitution. Now I'm going to read Act 6 in your hearing. Also, Asiatic family on social media, living in North America, every government has its own constitution. So I'm going to read the Moorish divine constitution in your hearing. Act 6. With us, all citizens must proclaim their nationality. We are teaching our people their nationality and their divine creed. And they might know that they're partial of this sad government. Now, which government are we talking about? We're talking about the Moorish American government. Why is that? Because I'm reading the Moorish divine constitution. I'm not reading the constitution that was written in 1779 under the Europeans' earthly salvation. This is your Moorish American salvation. Let's go on. And they might know they are not Negroes, colored, black folks, or African American. These are identifications how the European slave owner identified his commercial property. So, for all the Asiatics on social media living in North America, you cannot change the truth. Because what was true 2,000 years ago is going to be true today. So, like so, those same identifications you just read in the Moorish Divine Constitution, these identifications, black, Negro, people of color, African American, was written in 1779, meant commercial property. They mean commercial property today. And notice, we're not here to speak radical. We're not against you. We're not trying to attack you. We're trying to teach you what the Honorable Prophet Noble Ali did in 1913 to bring you legal international freedom, not segregation, not integration, and not granted privileges. Because all those ways of living and you under another nation's laws, and that's not who you are. But you will never be legally free. You are like what the scripture said, when you stand on those terms and way of life. People see you walking, but mentally and legally you are dead. And why? Because you don't have a nationality. You don't have a birthright. You don't have a can't trace your ancient heritage. You don't have your own divine flag, who you proclaim you say you are. You're not citizens of your own government. See, this is international legal freedom. And this is what the armored prophet Noble Drew Ali brought in 1913. Also, for evidence for you, we go to 1928. In 1928 in Cuba, it was called a Pan-African Conference. All nations. Nations mean governments. So he was there to represent the Moorish American family. So they asked him. He stood up and said, what is your nationality? Notice what the Honorable Prophet Noble Drew Ali said in 1928. He said, we are Moorish American citizens. He did not say we was Mural. He did not say you was a Rastafarian. He did not say you was a Wichita. He did not say you was an Hebrew Israelite. He did not say you was an African American. See, all those sound real slick, cool, and hip, standing on the corner. But when you start dealing with other governments, other nations, when you get to sit down and write treaties, they're not going to recognize those terms of identification. So, you got to come with your free national name, which is Moorish American. Your ancient heritage, you can trace it back over 7,000 years ago. Instead of ancient Moabite. See, all this is proof and evidence. And all you got to do, to all my Asiatic on social media, living in North America, I want you to go to www.7sealspublication. Get all the Honorable Prophet Noble Drew Ali's literature and study it, so you won't be bamboozled. Stuff sound real slick, cool, and hip to you, based on hearsay. No, it will be truth, international legal freedom. And that's what the prophet brought. And if you want this, if you want international legal freedom, to all my Asiatic family on social media that lives in North America, all you have to do is go to www.moorisamericangovernment.land. You will see the 5 greatest principles to humanity: love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. You're going to click on freedom. There's an international census application. This application is not like the European comes around every 10 years to your P.O. box or your mailbox. And then you got to decide every 10 years what you want to be. You want to be black this decade, people of color that decade, African American decade? No. From the womb to the tomb, you are a Moorish American citizen. And it's international, it's universal, it's global. We're talking about international legal freedom. We're not talking about segregation. We're not talking about integration. We're not talking about granted privileges. All those recognize you as commercial property, if you will, 3/5 human. We don't say that to be mean and harsh. We're saying this to uplift all fallen humanity. The European knows this. But if you want to keep marching, protesting, and boycotting, and stand under these ways of living, segregation, integration, and granted privilege, it's not the Europeans' responsibility to free you. It's your responsibility to free yourself. The great God, Allah, He brought you a prophet in 1913, the Honorable, International, Divine Prophet Noble Drew Ali. He brought you everything to free you. He brought you your Moorish American government. He brought you your Moorish American Constitution. I just read it in your hearing. He brought you your Moorish American flag. Inside that center of that flag, the green stars, you got the 5 greatest principles to humanity: love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. You don't have to pledge and stand to that red, white, and blue 50 stars. That's not your flag. That's not your Constitution of 1779. That's for the European. That's for their earthly salvation. And also to all my Asiatic on social media living in North Carolina, don't go around want to tear up another nation's flag and Constitution. That's for their earthly salvation. Free people don't do that. But see, when you are recognized as commercial property, then you got that hate, anger, revenge, jealousy. The law itself is in it. But when you are free, that international legal freedom, according to your prophet, your ancient heritage, your tribe, your birthright, you go teach it. Uplift all of humanity. Now, some people are going to disagree with you. That's okay. But even when they disagree with you, when you bring love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice on the manifest, it causes them to think. So don't get upset. You keep teaching. The Honorable Prophet Noble Draw these lessons, and it's going to give you international legal freedom. Once again, all you have to do is go to www.morrisamericangovernment.land. You're going to click on the word freedom. It's an international census application. You're not dealing with local, state, federal, European rule and regulation. It's not coming around every 10 years to your P.O. box or to your mailbox, if you will. And then you got to choose every 10 years. Are you going to be black this decade? Are you going to be a Negro this decade? Are you going to be an African American this decade? Or people of color? That's further from the truth. From the womb to the tomb, you are a Moorish American citizen. Also, according to Moorish American law, Act 6, any Asiatic was born from the time period of 1779 and born last night when the Honorable Prophet Noble Draw went to the Pan-African